welcome back to the Shuffle Squad. Zach Lesage here. I've cooked up some new icons for Destined Rivals decks based off of any Japanese results I could find online. So what does that mean? We have our biggest tier list ever in the Destined Rivals format. I've previously covered one with about 20 icons. I've included all the older icons for decks because we haven't gone through a rotation. It's just a new set. So let me cook. We have almost 100 things to rank. I might not necessarily be as descriptive for every single one, but some I might rant on more. Let's see how this tier list goes. If that sounds great to you, give this video a like, tell your friends about the channel, and of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Double check to see if you subscribed. I know a lot of y'all haven't. And anything you want to put in the comments does boost the YouTube algorithm. So if you're like, yo, these icons are sick, or sup, my boy Zach, or anything else you want, all that would be great in the comments to help boost it up. I don't know really where to start off with. I want to start off with something new. Let's go with I'm going to go with one that I cannot pronounce. Arboliva. It's like olive, and I know it's arb, like as in like the tree kind of thing. I think it's not good. I'm going to put it at kind of bad. Maybe I can change my mind in the future. Like, I don't want to lock this in for life, y'all. I'm only 33. Let me cook. It's one of those things where you're doing like 6 times 20 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like, and you could copy, and you could like choose the same Pokemon so you could hit it for like 120 or something like that. Maybe it's like 8 times, whatever. And then you play with Dusknoir. This list does not count for the Psyduck that blocks Curse Blast, by the way. I don't know. It seems like one of those decks that someone would play at League, and you're like, that seems like a 2/2 kind of deck. Maybe there's some life into it. I just don't think it's necessarily great, and that's why I'm going to put it at there. It's worse than mid in my early opinion. A deck that I think seems kind of good is going to be the Archaludon with the Rocket Bomb, being able to Monkey Dory that damage off, or Relicanth, or just doing extra damage. Maybe it ends up becoming really good, but I think most Arch decks don't. I'm going to go with Azumarill, Pidgeot. It saw some success online pre-Destined Rivals. I think it just kind of falls into the kind of like bad, might be like mid, but like we'll get there. Blissey I think is like kind of good. That's my definition of kind of good. It came second out of regionals, but I don't think we're going to see too much success after that. Maybe Blissey is better than I think it is. Mamoswine, I want to put it's functionally it's kind of like a mid deck. I think it's all right. Where it could, like, if you get set up, you could bulldozer over your opponents. There's like definitely some strength there, and it has a lot of HP. So that's my definition of a mid deck this week. Could change in the future. I think Ceruledge is like definition of a mid deck. Could be kind of good on the right day, but I just don't think it's necessarily like holding that all the way there. Dango's kind of fallen off, where I think it's like, it's just not seeing as much success in Japan as it previously was. I'm honestly not too sure why, but I think we're going to kind of put it at kind of good right now. The same reason why I'm going to put Goldango, Dragapult at kind of good. And I'm just going to move them over to, well, actually I'll put it there beside, so it's fine. I just don't think it's like as good as what I want. Same thing with regular Dango. Like, it's definitely kind of taken a step back, probably because Ethan's Typhlosion and Charizard are kind of back in the format. That might be the reason why. But if anyone has a reason why they think Dango is falling back a little bit, I don't know. I'd like to know about it. Maybe it's just there's different builds, because there is the Ethan's Typhlosion build that to me sounds really good, but maybe it's not really good. I'm going to probably put it there at kind of good as well. Next up, we're going to go with the Iono's Belly Bolts. I think Iono's Belly Bolts, to me, is kind of bad. It's not mid, but it's kind of bad. That's where we're going to put it this week. Slowking, I think, ends up becoming kind of bad now, instead of being like a mid deck, because we get Shaman in the formats. So it's not really cooking hard. I think United Wings probably puts itself in that same category. It doesn't have enough like damage outputs. Blaziken Monkey Dory is probably a mid deck. We get the new Blaziken from the set. I don't think it changes too much about the archetype, but it's all right. Chen Pao, probably kind of bad. Maybe not really much more than that. Like, I think it's fine. It's just not really doing well anymore. Porygon, I think it's kind of bad. It's a new deck, but it's really hard to discard those supporters, and it's like all these decks have flaws. Maybe Chen Pao is actually, we'll probably put Chen Pao at mid. I think all these other decks have flaws that really hold them back. Festival Lead, we're just really filling them in. Just not great. Because like you just like, I don't know, it's less than mid. What else can I put that's less than mid? I gotta put something somewhere. Like, I need to start putting like some decks in like really bad. I think Conkeldurr is probably going to be my first really bad deck. I like it better in a Slow King deck than I like it as its own deck, and there's just better poison decks out there right now. So I think it's just really bad, but maybe we don't need a really bad category in this kind of thing. I don't know. It is what it is. We got 80 decks to put. I'm sure we'll find things. I think Mewtwo's probably kind of good. If Mewtwo's kind of good, then I want to put Dango above it, because I think Archaludon is really good. You want to know what? We're going to change this up. I think any of the Dango decks are probably fine. Like, they all seem really good. Mewtwo seems like whatever, the kind of good decks. And I'm going to put Blissey. Maybe I'll put Blissey at kind of good. I think that's fair. We're going to readjust mid-tier. Ho-Oh seems to me like it's like mid. It's almost kind of good, but it's not all the way there. Typhlosion to me seems like this deck could be, it seems like it's kind of good. Things are holding it back. It's just not as well positioned as I want it to be, largely because we don't have Psyduck in the format that's blocking Dragapults. Once we have that, I could see Ethan's Typhlosion actually being really good. Regular Arch, I think, falls a step behind now. Where it's not as good as the Archaludon with the bomb, so that makes it a little bit better. I don't know if there's any other Archaludons. We'll probably stick them there beside. Oh, we also have Goldango Scizor. I feel like Goldango Scizor, I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm going to start adjusting the Goldangos a little bit. I think that those are the three best ways to play Goldango. I'm going to put these ways to play Goldango as kind of good. They're just not as good. Metagross seems all right, but I think it ends up becoming kind of bad. Just powering up your Pokemon from your discard pile, not really doing too much. Same thing with like Yanmega is like stage 1, not stage 2, so it's kind of mid, I think. I don't know, that's my early take on it. Straight up Miraidon, not Joltik Box. I'm probably gonna put this as kind of bad. It just seems outdated. Like, it's a deck that existed. Joltik Box came out. It's better. Garchomp, Roserade, probably just mid. A lot of these new decks fall into like the mid to kind of bad territory, unfortunately. I think the Gyarados Misty Psyduck deck falls into mid. It's almost kind of good, but just not really there. Like, you're pitching away a lot of your like Psyducks. You're able to get them back. I don't know. It's all right. Persian seems to me like it's probably kind of bad. We might see it as a 1/1 tech in like a Rockets Mewtwo deck, but as its own deck doesn't really come together that well. Charizard, I think, ends up becoming a really good deck, going up because of Shaman and stuff like that. Palafin does not seem, I don't know, maybe Palafin's fine. There's a lot of things that like go wrong with this deck. I think it needs a little bit more time in the kitchen. Hydrapple, I just don't think it's as good as other grass following, so I'm gonna probably put it, maybe it's kind of bad. I'll be nicer to the deck right now, that's fine. Hopzation to me might get a little bit better with the Rockets Bomb, but I think it just ends up becoming a little too mid. Milotic, there's just not a lot of Terra Pokemon in the format, so I think it ends up becoming kind of bad. Same thing for like Wallstall. Like, Wallstall's all right, but we do have Crustal Wallstall, which seems slightly more popular, so I'm gonna put that at mid. We could probably just generalize and put it down to Wallstall in general and always put it at mid or really good. There's not really too much in between. Marnie's Grimmsnarl seems like it's a really good deck. I don't want to put it as part of the best decks right now, but it could be okay. Roaring Moon seems like a kind of good deck with the Dunsparce. I could see it being like bouncing back between, yeah, it seems probably kind of good. Same thing with like Roaring Moon with the poison package. I could see both of those being good. In general, Terra Box probably goes down to kind of good, but not really much more than that. Iron Hands, Future Box, probably just a mid deck at this point. We're gonna go Copper Raja with Monkey Dory. I think ends up becoming kind of a mid deck. Could be kind of good, but like it seems kind of mid. For Alligator ends up becoming mid. Nothing really much to say there. It's never really popped off after it won the Champions League. Hydreigon Pidgeot I think ends up becoming kind of bad just because of Snipe. Same thing with Enzoric, I'll probably put at mid, whereas otherwise it was really good. Raging Bolt with Belly Bolt ends up becoming kind of bad. It doesn't really hold its own in this format, but Raging Bolt, straight up Raging Bolt is probably just a really good deck when it comes down to it. Terapagos, Noctowl, probably just going to be a mid deck at this point, not really seeing too much success. Okie Dokie probably ends up becoming kind of bad, nothing crazy there. Pidgeot Control, probably a mid deck, not really too much control elements, but we got some control elements in the set, maybe it could pop back. Regular Frostlass ends up becoming mid, whereas I already put the Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck. I think that deck's a little bit better. We have Mabostiff from this new set. I think that that's the definition of like a kind of bad deck. It's kind of a wall deck where you use Ethan's Sandwich or no, Arvin's Sandwich to heal Mabostiff and Monkey Dory. Like it's just a big wall deck that doesn't really hold its own. So Titan to me is a deck that I think falls in the mid category where it could see some success, but like largely like holds itself back a little bit just from being better than that. Crobat Spy Stops being able to like place the damage counters and then just put up to a single prize card probably ends up becoming a mid deck. I don't think it's like anything crazy beyond that. Wheezing I think probably ends up being a bad deck. Nothing fantastic coming out of that one. Dragapult Crobats, I think that becomes a kind of good deck. I don't know if it's as good as like other versions of Dragapult, but maybe it could be. Dragapult Ethan's Typhlosion could be kind of a good deck, but I just don't think they're as effective as other Dragapult variants. Archaludon Zork, okay, that's probably where I want to put the other Archaludon. Not really cutting it in my opinion. Ancient Box to me seems like it is a kind of bad deck, hasn't really seen too much success. Dragapult Charizard did win the whole Champions League, but I think it becomes just really good, not the best decks. I think that's reserved for other decks here. Eevee Box, as much as I thought Watchtower was going to take it down, I think it still ends up becoming a really good deck. Could see some success, but not really across the board is as strong as we want it to be. Dragapult Iron Thorns seems like it's just kind of mid, at least in my opinion. Maybe it's like kind of good. I don't know. I think it's probably kind of mid. Could see it seeing some success. Great Tusk ends up becoming kind of mid. Charizard Noctowl probably ends up becoming a kind of good deck. I don't think it ever really had its flowers. I don't think it's as strong as what we want it to be. Then we're kind of left with the best decks. I think Gardevoir to me is just easily one of the best decks in formats. Always has been, and it exists in our formats. Dragapult Dusknoir, same kind of deal. We have we don't have the Psyduck, so it's not getting blocked. Dragapult Monkey Dory I'm actually going to put at really good decks. I think with less Dragapult Dusknoir seeing success, Dragapult Monkey Dory might see more play, but you want to know what? I'm probably going to end up putting it in the best decks, actually. It probably just deserves to be there. I think we'll see enough Dragapult play. And then Joltik Box ends up kind of closing out the list there. I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think it seems like a pretty valid tier list of the formats. Nothing too wild, but it does have a lot of decks on there. Now, if I'm missing a deck here and you're like, hey, Zach, what about this deck? Let me know. I'll make an icon. I think this is like 80 images or something like that. I'm sure someone can count it. But let me know what you think about the formats, about these decks. am I right? Am I wrong? Seems pretty accurate to me. Like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yeah, this kind of feels like where the top decks are kind of flowing. Nothing else is too crazy, right? I don't know. We'll see how the metagame goes, but I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you're looking to learn more about this format, I have the decks built, so hit me up for some coaching. Would totally love to help you on your Pokemon journey. Want to support the Shuffle Squad? Be sure to check out all of our sponsors in the description to pick up Pokemon TCG singles, sealed, and PTCG live codes.
Tabi no hajimari wa tsune ni michi e no ippo de aru. Sore wa yami e to tsuzuku. 初めの一歩を踏み出すには勇気がいる。そして旅の終わりには旅を始めた時の自分とは別人になっているかもしれない。旅に出よう。物語の次の章がお主を待っている。将軍の道を歩め。侍の箱とともに。アルティメットガードが送る冒険の第一章。刀将軍の道近日発売。
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed the content that we have today, and maybe you'll click on one of these other videos, enjoy those videos too. If you haven't already, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments what video you want to watch next. Until next time, we'll catch up with all y'all later. Have yourself a great day.